I'm just gonna say it. Duraludon is not the hardest 6-star raid out there, not by a long shot. It has a lot of weaknesses. The most glaring one is the fact that it does not clean the player at all, which pretty much means Slowbro is a guaranteed win. It also only cleans itself one time, which means Bellybolt can win. In fact, I'm pretty sure every single one of the 4 horsemen can win, but we're going to be using some more off-meta builds to take advantage of Duraludon's glaring weaknesses. These are the 3 builds that we're going to be using to take out Duraludon. The first one I'm going to be using is Venomoth. I'm going to be showcasing its Tinted Lens ability. Venomoth, what I like to call the special low kicks, and that you can use it against any type as long as it's not steel, because we are relying on Acid Spray. It does get Quiver Dance, which we're also going to use, so we're going to be doing really big damage with that. Magnezone is a niche build, but the one thing it has that Bellybolt doesn't, that it's going to be taking advantage of in this raid, is a steel typing. So we're definitely going to take advantage of that. And that last type, that dragon type, since dragon's going to be doing too much damage with the, double stab on Venomoth, I am going to be recommending Corviknight, which is probably just the safest way to take out this raid, in my opinion. 2 things before we get started with this turn order. 1, at any time during this raid, if you get below 60% HP, go ahead and use Giga Drain. 2, do not use this build against a steel or dragon type Duraludon. It'll do too much, it'll kill you. Moving on to the turn order, again, at any time, if you get below 60% HP, you're going to go ahead and use Giga Drain. That's our healing move here. First priority is going to be using Quiver Dance 6 times. Once we get a couple Quiver Dances, we're not going to be eating Dragon Pulse and Flash Cannon anymore. We're going to be susceptible to the lower damage physical moves. After we get our Quiver Dances, we're going to make sure that Duraludon has gotten under 80% HP, because that's when it does its one and only self-cleanse. Once it does that, we're going to use Acid Spray 3 times. Again, whenever you need to use Giga Drain, use it. Only after we have used 3 Acid Sprays, we're going to go ahead and Terastallize and start spamming Giga Drain. And we can spam Giga Drain until we win. If you really want to use a Bug Buzz somewhere in there for a little extra damage, that's fine. But if you want to just turbo spam Giga Drain, that's probably the easiest thing. But turbo spam's not going to last long, because by then the raid will almost be over. Magnezone's turn order is going to be very simple. Charge Beam is our damaging move and our setup. So the first thing we're going to be doing is using Charge Beam until Duraludon self-cleans at 80% HP, at which point we are going to switch to using Metal Sound. And we're going to use Metal Sound until either we land 3 of them, the shield goes up, or we need health, so we need to use Charge Beam. It's very unlikely you will need to use Charge Beam because of health reasons, but you always have that option. After you get your 3 Metal Sounds, you're just going to go ahead and spam Charge Beam, Terastallize as soon as you can, and then turbo spam Charge Beam until you win. Now, one more note. If you don't have enough stellar shards to make a stellar type Magnezone, then an electric type Magnezone will work. It's just a little less likely, but the only difference in the turn order is instead of Terastallizing as soon as you can, you're just gonna Terastallize when Duraludon puts its shield up. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is this video could have easily been a 1 Pokemon video. Corviknight with Power Trip and the Dark Tera type gives 0 shits about resistances. Okay, once we're set up, we're going to have 260 base damage at +6, and on top of that, we're going to be able to get Screeches. Okay, we're going to take advantage of all of that. In the demonstration, we used it against a Fire type, but best believe Corviknight can win in most raids, particularly this one, if given the chance to set up. And Duraludon's raid does give you the chance. So you're simply, at any time during your setup, you're going to use Roost if you get under 50% HP. Then you're just going to go ahead and spam bulk up all the way to +6. Then you're going to use Power Trip after that, if Duraludon is not under 80% HP yet when Duraludon does its self-cleanse. After the self-cleanse, you're going to squeeze in as many Screeches as you possibly can, or before the shield goes up. So try your best to get it to -6. If you don't, it's fine. Like I said, you're doing 260 base power with Power Trip at +6, so you'll be fine. If you want to go for the attack cheer, you think you have time before the shield up, depending on how your timing is going, you can go ahead and do that, and if you get the attack cheer on top of -6, +6, then you're probably going to KO it with your first or second power trip. If you just want to go safe, you can always just start spamming power trip until you win. I did Terrastalize in the demonstration, but you don't actually have to Terrastalize to win this. Corviknight just does so much damage, it doesn't even need to Terrastalize. It'd be like that. Smash that like button and subscribe.